Nicholas. Sweet
Yes.
Nicholas. Are we live?
We are indeed, sir. We
This
are.
thing on? This
Yes.
thing on? Well, I gotta start this thing off. And I will probably repeat this many, many times because I don't know when our good friend Joe Mulvey will pop into the chat. It might take him a few minutes, so I'm gonna hammer this home. I'm gonna be obnoxious about it and hammering it home
You obnoxious? What?
that the Patriots are going back to the Super Bowl. I think the funniest thing I saw now there's a GIF out there, right? It's like it's been 84, whatever it is, right? From the old lady from the Titanic.
Yeah.
Someone updated it showing the old lady. It's like it's been 7 years. It's been 7 years,
Mm-hmm.
and they're back now. I wouldn't have seen this coming. Now it's become a long-standing tradition on the TLDR program that we start things off with sports because, well, that's just
Thanks, Ryan Parrott.
Yeah, but that's okay. He wanted sports talk. We're going to give him a little bit of sports talk. I never in my wildest year, I just wanted like 8 wins, just double the amount of wins they had last year. And I thought that would have been a successful season.
Yeah.
And we got Drake May. I was this close to buying an I Heart Drake May shirt.
Oh, wow. Were you?
Oh, I'd wear it loud and I'd wear it proud, baby. But I just wanted to start things off. Just like, hey, Joe, if you don't have anywhere to watch the Super Bowl, you can come hang out with me. I would love, I would actually love nothing more than to watch the Super Bowl with Joe because not only are the Patriots in it, but then their quarterback who saw ghosts is the quarterback for the Seahawks.
Yep. I would love to know who he's rooting for. I mean, he's got to be rooting for Sam Darnold. That's been a whole thing.
I think he's just rooting for the Budweiser commercials, to be honest with you. Maybe a good GoDaddy commercial, right? Anyways. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of all ages, TLDR Studios proudly presents to you the greatest, and I mean the greatest podcasting team in the world. He is the comic book writer, Nick Friar. I am the Tenacious Doc, and together we are the TLDR Comic Book Club. Baby, how you doing, Nicholas?
Congratulations to whoever had a GoDaddy commercial on their bingo card for TLDR today. You guys won.
Bingo! I got bingo!
It was fucking rigged. Who knew? I am doing just splendid, Joe, because you and I just got done with another Friarside Chat people are going to get to hear fairly soon. And because we already have it in the can and I already downloaded at least the main portion of the interview, I know we're good. So we can tell the people that we just had an old friend of the show, Benjamin Percy, back on the show to talk about his Darth Maul series and Punisher and a little Wade Wilson Deadpool, which I think some people may remember, or at least some of the newer listeners to the show, if not the longtime listeners as well. You may recall Joe saying he's not the biggest Deadpool fan or around the whole Deadpool Batman crossover for Marvel DC. But I was stunned. I was like, I think Ben has an idea that Joe can actually get behind for Deadpool.
Yeah, I'm going to read this thing. It sounds fantastic. Long tease, right? You'll hear my thoughts about it if you listen to the Friarside Chat. I'm not going to spill the tea here. I'm not going to spill it. Just know it's a tremendous premise, and I'm in. I'm in. That's all you need to know. The stock is in, baby.
And we got some awesome news around the Punisher stuff that you guys will get to hear. But with the primary portion of the conversation, the meat and potatoes with Benjamin Percy was Darth Maul. And this series sounds so fucking awesome, dude. And it was really interesting. We getting a little behind the scenes too of like the difference for him working with Lucasfilms, because we've talked with Ethan Sachs, and I really think, Joe, that's the only Star Wars writer we've spoken to, at least active.
Well, at the time, too, Rodney Barnes was.
That's right, Rodney.
Just the Mandalorian.
Just starting. Yep, 100%. Yep, that's right. Forgot about that. Yep, 100%.
Yeah, but what was great is he talked about just how great, the people over at Star Wars, was, and with just providing him with all this stuff so that he had this sort of dearth of knowledge to be able to tell this story. Because I know you saw it, Nicholas. That trailer might be the best Star Wars thing I have seen since. Now, I haven't watched Andor yet. I am planning on it. Um, but since Rogue One, right? Like that trailer was so badass,
Yeah, it was
so awesome. I'm currently 3D printing myself a Maul lightsaber.
nice. Yeah, I don't blame you. And I mean, I love Ahsoka. Obviously, I love Baylan Skoll. I love the Mando stuff as well. But it's up there, like for this era of Star Wars stuff. That I agree. Like I saw that trailer and I was like, this is gonna kick ass because I didn't know. Like I love Maul, and I think they've done a lot of good stuff with Maul over the years. But I'm, like, other than killing him off the rip to start, like but I saw this trailer and I was like, no, they did that right. This has the perfect tone going in, and Ben's got all this insight, and it was a really fun conversation. It was always a fun time talking with Ben, but it's always nice when we have someone on who we've had on the show multiple times. This is the fourth time that we've had Ben on the show, but it's nice when like I walk away from it, it's like, huh, that felt a little bit different than some of the other
Mm.
conversations because it's like it's still similar, but we're getting new wrinkles, and that's I think it's good for us feeling that as the interviewers, but I would think for listeners too, it's like that's what you want. You don't want the same thing over. We don't want Benjamin Percy answering the same questions and saying the same shit. I mean, Ben can probably do it because of his voice, but nobody else. Like we don't want to be doing that with.
No, it's always insightful, and we've got a really great rapport with Ben. And it's we always learn something, right? And and he's a prose writer as well. So like he just
Yeah.
he attacks things from such different angles, and his description of what he wanted for this story, that dark, gritty, pulpy, noirish sort of seedy underbelly. Like, give me that Star Wars. Give me that all goddamn day.
You brought up the pro stuff. I actually thought you were going to pivot into some of the details you brought up with Frank Castle, which we don't want to spoil here. But I think that excited you the most of
Yeah,
everything that we were talking about. It was
that
fucking
was
awesome.
excellent. That
And
was excellent.
for those who are watching us on Instagram Live right now or catching us over on our YouTube page, of course, like and subscribe. It helps the show out a ton. But if you don't, if you're wondering, like, hey, where the hell are we seeing these Friarside Chats? I can't find any of this shit over on your YouTube page. That's because you can only find our Friarside Chats on our audio channels. And those are our conversations with creators across the industry. Of course, we primarily talk with writers because artists are usually doing a little bit extra when it comes to bringing the story to life. But the writers are giving us a lot of insight on what's going on, what the artists are doing, and what have you. But all those Friarside Chats and our conversations are only on our audio channels. While you're there, please make sure you leave a 5-star rating and review. It helps the show out a ton. And if you leave anything less, you're going to learn the real meaning of Tenacious Doc. So we got a lot to get to. One thing you and I haven't done in a bit, we've been tried to be stingier about just because we know how much we like to talk about the active books that are coming out, or whenever we do a mainline, we want to make sure we have time to talk as much as we want about those individual stories. We haven't done a lot of catching up lately, at least on the show. I know we're reading stuff outside of the issues dropping week to week, but you have a couple things that you actually wanted to highlight in catching up this week.
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to catch up on was Defenders of Earth, right?
Yeah, I'm very curious to
This
hear
is
on it.
Flash Gordon, this is the Phantom, this is so a lot of those, so this is oh, what's the word I'm looking for? When you have a group of characters together,
Team?
there's a
Team
team
up?
up. Yeah, a team. There's another word for it. I can't think of. But so like, we've been loving Flash Gordon, and my only connection to the Phantom was the Billy Zane vehicle that came out in the 90s. And then some of the other characters, it's just sort of my first time reading them, but I've been so engrossed with Flash Gordon lately that this felt like a no-brainer to read. And I just read the first 2 issues because I think issue 2 dropped last week or the week before. Um, excellent, excellent. You've got sort of, you know, a group of, the Phantom and Flash Gordon and a couple other characters, doing one thing, and then you have their kids off on another quest doing something else, all for, the same sort of, purpose. And I love that you're getting kind of 2 stories in one, and it's just done really well. So, I think if you've been reading Flash Gordon, if you're a fan of Flash Gordon, fan of the we're wearing flannel,
Yeah, too much
fan
flannel.
of the Phantom, you know, I think you're going to enjoy this. It's definitely worth checking out. I've enjoyed the first two issues, and I love that I got to read them back to back. Really great stuff. And then last week, Nicholas, the one of the really few books that I had a chance to get to was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles multi Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, written by Ryan Parrott. You had said, read this. It's gonna blow your nips off. Holy smokes, Ryan! If you're watching, if you're listening, my man, you brought in my guy. You brought in one of my favorite all-time characters. Can I say it, Nicholas? It's been a week out.
Yeah, I think you're okay. Yeah, we're not gonna
you brought in the floppy-eared Ronin, my boy, Usagi Yojimbo. Dude, that was such an awesome reveal when that happened. There's another thing that happens too that I'm not going to spoil.
Right.
But this was just such an excellent issue. I mean, it's been a great. It's always, this crossover series has always been excellent. Ryan's done a great job at it. So I was super pumped to see that. And I remember I texted you and you go, but wait, there's more. And
Yeah,
sure as hell was.
100%.
It was so good. So those are two series that are definitely worth checking out.
Dude, when you texted me, because I had asked you to do so, when you texted me about Usagi, I was like, when I was reading it, I was like, oh, fuck, Usagi's in here. Joe's going to be so pumped. He must have not read it yet because he would have texted me. And then I saw the next thing and I was like, oh my God, like, this is ridiculous. And I was like, as you're like reading it and you texted me about one thing, I was like, that's not it. Then you saw Usagi and I was like, yes, but there's more. I was like, this thing, you're going through the same exact experience. It was fucking awesome. Yeah, it really has been a fun series, and there have been one of the things like with the full Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mighty Morphin Power Rangers like saga, like this is the third volume. There's been a lot of really like just cool, fun shit that's happened throughout these stories. I legitimately own I'm looking at it right now, a Shredder Green Ranger mashup character, and I absolutely love that design, and we've seen so many other cool reveals. I think this run may have my favorite one yet, in only rivaled by the Green Shredder, the Green Ranger Shredder mashup. It's Ryan has done such a great job with it with the artists that he's working with, and it's just they all feel earned, but this one may be my favorite one of them all, just from like a maybe equal on a similar level from a design standpoint, but from a storytelling standpoint, it was perfect.
Well, I think it's exactly what I said to you. This is my favorite issue yet, not just of volume 3, but like of all of them. Volume 1, 2, and 3. This was it. Like, that's how good, the reveals are, the story is. It's just chef's kiss, Ryan.
Yeah,
it
says a lot about how important like big moments are in comics, especially when you're dealing with like legacy type characters, where it's just you have that pop. Like we've been loving this series, and I'm on a pretty similar level to you, where it's like this might be my favorite issue of the entire of all 3 volumes of this story so far. So it says a lot. All right.
Absolutely tremendous.
We got a lot to get to from this week, and I will say it is we're big 3 heavy this week. This does not happen to us often. We're usually pretty spread out, but I couldn't help it this week.
Well, same. I was thinking about this earlier, and I know we start off with Marvel, but to me, like, DC has really 2026 off fucking harder than an old man's ass, right? They're just coming out of the gate. And and I know we're big 3 heavy, but that's not to say like Boom had a couple of really kick-ass titles. Mad Cave came out hot. We don't get IDW, but there's that. I'm looking forward to reading that Casey Jones. So like it was a really, really good week. So without further ado, Nikolai, I will get us going. And just a friendly reminder, if Joe Mulvey has joined us late, we're going back to the Super Bowl, baby. All right. From Marvel Comics for New Comic Book Day, January 28th, 2026, we have Miles Morales Spider-Man, issue 42, the Jackie Robinson issue. We have The Infernal Hulk, issue 3, Sorcerer Supreme, issue 2, Marvel Zombies, Red Band, issue 5, The End 2099, issue 2, 1776, issue 3, and Strange Tales issue 4 with a couple of books, Nicholas, that we'd like to discuss.
Yeah, we got a number one, and we got the end of a miniseries, but it's leading into a larger ongoing story. And I'm going to start us there, Joe. We got Punisher Red Band issue 5. Of course, Benjamin Percy writing this series with art by Julius Ota. Of course, we just spoke to Benjamin Percy, and you guys are going to hear all of that conversation. But this is the conclusion of this series, of this mini series, but it's leading into a larger series that he's doing. And I'm very excited to see more Punisher from Ben. But with all of this, like, the way this story concludes is what really has me itching for more from Ben and Frank Castle. We always want to see Frank go nuts. And, like, quite honestly, it should feel like, I feel like it doesn't matter if you're a criminal, doesn't matter if you're fucking Thanos, or if you're like part of Marvel's editorial. Like, nobody can stop the Punisher from being who he is. And I should feel that as a reader, like, oh geez, like this, he's really going for it. He's really pushing it. And there's no writer who I trust more to do that with this character. And Ben proved that very much so throughout the entirety of the series. But in this issue, there's a specific event that's just like, I just looked at it and I was like, wait a minute, are you shitting me? Like, I say that alone is like, I need more. I need to know what's going to happen with following this development.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot wait to see Ben do an ongoing Punisher story. It is just, it's so promising. It's in this series was so well done, so much fun.
There was two moments, and now this series, it's been Red Band, right? So, and you'll hear from Ben in the in our chat where he specifically wanted to set a specific tone. Like, he wanted to come out swinging, with this, so that everyone would sort of know where the following series is going to go. But there's two moments in this particular issue that just sort of, had me going, holy smokes. And one has long-term implications, and I think that's sort of what you're talking about. Like, I need
Yeah.
to see where this is going to go, because you're like, did he just, what the
Yeah.
fuck did he just do, right?
Yeah.
And then the other moment happened right after that, and that was a more visceral moment. Now, that may have long-term ramifications. That might just be a short-term, in the moment sort of thing that happens, at the sort of, that helps concludes this particular arc. But visually, it was very visceral, very guttural. It was very, holy shit. Marvel let him do that. And you just sort of left going, oh. So I'm very excited to see, where the story goes from here. So this particular, it was like, this is act one, and now act
Yeah.
two beyond is going to be more of a long form sort of thing, which is, I can't wait for. So, like, if you just read this is a nice, tight, contained thing that has further ramifications going on that you're going to want to check out. So, I mean, this was right from the first page of the first issue. You knew this was going to be chaotic, and it absolutely was. So this was just such a, I mean, I told Ben to his face, I go, this is why you won, you won the floppy for best writer in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
It's this kind of stuff right here. So you really don't want to miss it.
100%. And then we got a number one that I know you in particular. I was very curious if you were going to check this one out, because the writer you are as high on as anybody.
So did you read this one too, Nicholas?
I did. Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
The ending, dude. That ending.
Oh man. So Iron Man issue 1, written by Joshua Williamson with art by Carmen Canero. I don't typically read Iron Man books. Like, he's a character that I think I prefer to see on the big screen. I mean, and that's a Robert Downey Jr. thing, right? Like, he became that character. He embraced that character. That's, for me, how I like that character. Like, when I'm reading comics, I prefer him to be that side character coming in and here, there, and everywhere. But this, I was like, I'm reading this specifically because of Joshua Williamson and everything that he's done at DC, and he's still doing DC stuff. But I was very intrigued, and I loved it, right? Because he sort of embraced that, that playboy, part of Tony Stark, that arrogant, right? Um, and at first I was like, "Oh, are we really getting like a generic retelling of Iron Man's origin story?" And then the twist he takes on that and where the story goes and just the pacing of, I mean, this is why I love Joshua Williamson's writing, because it's very layered. And he really kind of sets you up, get you going here, and then pivots, boom, and you're like, all right, let's go on this ride, baby. And no way in hell did I see that ending coming. When you read this, you will not see that ending coming.
No, no way.
And so where the series goes from here, I don't know if this is ongoing. I don't know if this is limited series or whatnot, but like I am so in. We always talk about that hook. And typically with Marvel and DC books, they don't really need that hook at the end, because like generally if you're reading a Marvel or a DC book, um, you're committed, right? You know what you're gonna kind of get. But we get that here, and I loved it. Um, and so like if you're like me and you're not a huge Iron Man fan, Iron Man, I've heard it both ways. You're really gonna love this series, to start to this series. It was I was pleasantly surprised, and I shouldn't have been, because it's Joshua Williamson. He kicks ass. If you're not reading his books, you really should be.
Yeah, it was the action was fun. The storytelling, like you said, was great. The command of Tony Stark, like in his personality, all of
Mm.
it, start to finish was really good issue. But that ending was just like,
Oh, awesome.
huh? Like, okay, I'm like, I'm having a good time, and then it's like, okay, oh, okay, this is gonna be interesting. Wait a second.
Whoa,
Yeah,
whoa there, big fella.
yeah. It was some awesome stuff. Moving over to DC, we got Absolute Week over at DC. We got Absolute Martian Manhunter issue 8, which I friggin' love. Absolute Flash issue 11, which I've fallen behind on. I know you're staying on top of that one a little bit better. Detective Comics 1105,
Oh,
Superman
excellent, 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 excellent.
Superman issue 34, Justice League Unlimited issue 15, The Flash issue 29, Green Lantern issue 31, DCKO the kids are all fight special issue 1, Harley Quinn issue 58, Justice League Red issue 6, Harley and Ivy Life and Crime issue 3, DC Supergirl Next Door issue 1, Harley Quinn in Paradise issue 49,
The
and then
Tim
we
Wakefield issue.
Oh, that's right. Yes, of course. And then we got 2 issue 16s from the Absolute Universe that we would like to discuss. Why don't you lead us off here, Joe?
Okay, Nicholas. So Absolute Batman,
Mm,
written by Scott Snyder, with art by Nick Dragotta.
never
Right.
heard of it.
Never heard of those guys. I gotta tell you, they know what they're doing. I mean, what can we say about Absolute Batman, right? Like this one, like this series overall, it took me a couple of issues for me to kind of like get past, a couple of a couple of little things that was strictly a me thing. But once you really once they got cooking with gas, right? This has just been one of the best comics going, right? And that's just not my opinion. I think that's the opinion of a lot of people. Like
Yeah.
Absolute Batman is absolutely crushing it. And each arc has been unique. Each arc has had the things that have made each arc awesome have been like, very different, which I love. So it's not just the same thing sort of over and over and over again. And I think one of the things that Scott does well is like he really like it's like a parent teaching their kid about life lessons and consequences, right? Like you make your action, right? There's a consequence, whether good or bad. There's consequences to it. And in this issue, right, we're kicking off, a new arc. We're past the whole Bane stuff, and we're seeing what the real life consequences for Bruce are, in this issue. And we get another crossover. Like I love this dynamic between Batman and Wonder Woman in this universe. It is very pure, right? And it is there's this wonderful respect between the two, which we don't like. We know, like in general, like there's a respect that Batman has with, but Batman's always been his own. Like he's got his files on everyone. He keeps everyone sort of at a bit of an arm's length.
Right.
Right. This we're still getting that Batman, that Bruce Wayne that's still figuring things out. Right. So he doesn't have like that cynicism in him, right? And so that dynamic, I just think, plays really well between these two characters because there's a purity between the two of them that I think is very real, very honest,
Yeah.
and I really love that, and that we get some great action scenes involving the two of them. But what I loved most about this issue was like the dynamic has changed now between Bruce and his friends, all thanks to Bane, and there's a lot of resentment there, and I think Scott's done a really excellent job of sort of tapping into that, right? Tapping into that that emotional core of like you see it with with Penguin, you see it with Two Face. They're very angry, and they have every right to be. And again, it's not like this is why Bruce Wayne and superheroes in general keep their alter egos separate, right? Because they don't want to inflict harm upon those they love, and that undoubtedly happened here if you've been reading along. And so we're seeing the consequences of that now. And I just loved, this wasn't the most action packed Absolute Batman yet, but for me, it was one of my favorite issues because there was that depth. There was continued character building. Like I said, I love that dynamic between Bruce and Diana. I love the change dynamic now between Bruce and his friends, for better or for worse. Excellent stuff here. If you haven't been reading Absolute Batman, I mean, crawl out from underneath the rock you've been living under, right? And pick this up. I I I typically will get graphic novels for my nephew around Christmas time, and his birthday's in July. I know I'm going out and I'm getting the first volume of Absolute Bat and just giving it to him. Like,
Oh
read this.
wow.
Just read it. And
Wow.
I think everyone should be reading this. It's
It
just this is one of those series you're gonna look back years from now and be like, this was a defining moment in Batman's history. And that's a hard thing to do because he's been around for so long.
and you mean that as you were kind of going through what you were like your whole breakdown, I was like, I can't help but wonder. I know we're early in it. Like 16 issues is not nothing, obviously, but like compared to what he did before with Batman mainline, and then also some of the stuff he's done with like metal and death metal and stuff like that or whatnot. It's like, is this going to be what Scott's remembered for with Batman more so than anything? I wouldn't be stunned with the way things are going right now and the way everybody's responding. It's just like it may end up being like his crowning Batman achievement.
This is going to be his Frank Miller run, right? This is going to be like when you think Batman and Frank Miller, you think Batman Year One, and you think The Dark Knight, right? This is going to be like people are going to say, "Oh, Scott Snyder, absolute Batman," right? And I honestly, I really do. This is going to go down as like like one of those things, like my daughter one day, like she's gonna like want to make sure she's got Scott Snyder's absolute Batman collection in her, you know what I mean? It's gonna
Mhm.
be that sort of thing. So what Frank Miller is to us, I think Scott Snyder's absolute and just maybe his Batman run in general is gonna be to the next generation of comic book readers.
Yeah, I don't think that's entirely. I think that's a fair way to look at it. It's really remarkable because just having seen him succeed in one way and then in a different like a different universe, but still the same character, doing it again, but not again. Like it's just its own thing. Is wild. It really is. But we underwent some similar feelings, like in reading this issue of Absolute Batman, where again we're getting that Wonder Woman crossover part two of it. I am legitimately getting anxious about what's happening with Bruce and his friends. Like every single panel, I don't always check the art first before I read, but sometimes I do. You naturally you see stuff or whatever. But in this, I'm very much drawn to the image that Dragata is giving us, and then I'm kind of checking the writing, and it's like, fuck, man, like this is getting really fucking tense. And further, like it's been developing for a bit now since Bane came into the mix, but it's all happening in the background. But like, what's so impressive about this element of the story is like it's on simmer the whole
Mm.
time. Like Scott has not turned up the heat in totality. This is like probably the most heated that it's gotten, other than the initial reveal of what happened to his friends. But it's like, man, this is really getting uncomfortable, and it's just like it's just stewing more and more, and it's just like, fuck, man, it's really really good. And on the note of the action, you're right, it's not the most action packed one, but I will say there's an image that Dragata
Mm.
gave us of Batman and Wonder Woman that I was like, that should be a poster. And for
Yeah.
me, that's one of the best compliments I can give any artist with any panel that bring to life.
And Dragata's art in this issue is very well. Maybe his just depiction of the Penguin character, it's very jarring.
Yeah, dude.
Joker and Freeze, right? And like he's just giving us very jarring imagery, which
Yeah,
just fits so well with everything that's going on. It's
yeah.
just yeah.
He
Snyder
didn't.
Dragata,
We,
you're gonna remember that, right?
yeah,
Snyder Capullo, right? You're gonna remember it. It's just
Yeah, it's wild. It's so impressive too. And then speaking of, like Nick Dragata could have easily won Artist of the Year for us, but Artist of the Year for both of us this past year was Hayden Sherman, who's over doing Absolute Wonder Woman. We got issue 16 of that this week. Kelly Thompson is writing that series. And speaking of like not having as much action and what have you, Hayden Sherman got to do some really cool shit from an artistic standpoint in a different way in this issue. More showing off their design skills, which I was really enjoyed, was really impressed by, especially the stuff that was going on with Diana. But from a story standpoint, there's some really cool shit that happens at the end. But what I was surprised at how much I really appreciated was what goes on with Steve Trevor in this issue.
oh, excellent.
Yeah, I've never cared a whole heck of a lot about the character in general previously. Just like, didn't dislike him, but it was just like, okay, like he's just there. Like he's Wonder Woman's love interest, and he's done more than that, don't get me wrong, but just doesn't move the needle for me ever. I love this Absolute Universe version of him. I was liking him before. I really like him now, and it's just he's got like the perfect mix of like class and conviction that he's showing repeatedly in the face of sheer fucking ridiculousness. And where we have all these characters who it's like Batman who's like, yeeting a kid off of a yacht. You have Wonder Woman who is showing a lot of class, but she's an absolute tank. Absolute Superman has much more emotion than any Superman we've ever seen before. Like now you have this one dude who's like grounded in this, and he's like working with them, but at the same time, like composing himself and dealing with arguably more ridiculous things on the side with people who should just be thankful for what they're getting. So I'm blown away, but like I'm walking out of this issue and it's like I really enjoyed all the stuff with Wonder Woman, but like the Steve Trevor stuff was actually that was pretty fucking good.
Well, that was definitely a seminal moment for him and a very impactful and powerful moment, for him. And the other thing I loved about this issue was it's the most vulnerable and most behind the eight ball that we have seen Diana yet in this series. And I love that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because she's been so steady, so like, and now she's got an uphill climb. And I love the way the issue ends. And I just love the position that Diane is in, where it's like, for the first time, you're questioning, oh shit, how's she going to get out of this one?
Yeah, it's been she's had a like I feel like because I feel like the reason I pause is she's had some challenges, more challenges recently than she did in the previous arc. But I agree with you, like the way things shape up in this issue, it's like this is going to be the toughest thing she's faced yet. I really feel like one thing Kelly Thompson's done a good job of is just making things more and more challenging for her, for Diana, like as the arcs have gone along. But yes, I agree that this is shaping up to be the most challenging obstacle that she's going to face to this point.
Yeah, she's had some diversity, no doubt, but I've not yet up until this point, question, oh, how is she going to get out of this?
Sure.
This is the
Yeah.
first time I go, ooh,
No, you're
this
right.
is going to get bad before it gets good.
Yeah, in fairness to that point, the last time I was like, "What's going on?" Like, really, like, "What's going on here?" Like, my question was more, "What is how" I'm really curious how she's gonna handle it, what her response is gonna be, as opposed to how she's gonna get out of it. So
Yeah.
that's where my confusion was. But yeah, I agree with you 100% on that. All right, we got a few other titles to get through. What do we got from Boom though this week?
Great week from Boom. We have Power Rangers Prime issue 14. Hello, Darkness.
My old friend. Off key there, but
Uh,
sorry.
yeah, it's that little pitchy dog. That's okay. Issue 18. Be Not Afraid, issue 5. Did you read this issue, Nicholas?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh man, this book legit terrifies me. It really
Yeah,
does.
trippy ass
Right.
shit, man.
And as I'm reading, I go, oh, this is such a Nick issue. It's not even funny.
Yeah, dude.
Um,
Dark
and
as
then
hell. Oh hell. I will say we didn't break it down. It's been a while since we got issue 4, I feel like. But the art in and this is a series I'll probably go back and reread in totality, like
oh, 100%.
from start to finish. Because I think that may help a little bit. The art in this issue, like when you say like this was a me issue, the art specifically was like just the colors, especially. It was the perfect mixture of darkness.
It is very gothic.
Yeah.
It is very haunting. And is very there's a
Bordering on line of metal, honestly, for me in this one.
yeah, and there's a tinge of macabre to it,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Where you're just like, ooh, it gives you shivers, right? It
Mhm.
really does give you shivers. The Ethan S. Parker and oh, who's his partner in crime there?
Griffin Sheridan. Oh, he's gonna be so
Thank you.
upset.
Oh, I know. I'm gonna get hell for that one. Blink and you'll miss it. Issue 5. I had to go back and read issue 4. I was like, oh shit! It was right around Christmas, right? So I read issue 4 and issue 5 back to back. I mean, what?
Mm.
I mean, what a series! Holy
This is
cow!
the one that's actually trippy as shit. I had mixed the two up before.
This one was trippy as all hell.
Yeah, this is
All
another
right.
one where like this one they're actually like I feel like this has come out month to month, like no issues, like in terms of publishing time. This is one though where it's like you need to read this in totality too because there's
Oh,
just a
100%.
lot to keep
100%.
track of. It's fucking wild.
Yep.
I'll take us through these next few here. Actually, no, we may have a couple comments here. We got Dark Horse. We got The Guy in the Chair, issue 4. This is the end of this miniseries. Fun miniseries. I'm not gonna go and break it down on the show, but I had a good time reading it. It was a good ride. Very good twist at the end with issue 3 into this issue. Solid landing, but I'm not going to talk about it on the show in detail. The Witcher. We didn't know we were getting a new Witcher story. The Witcher Bloodstone issue 1. Really, really enjoy this issue. You had a specific thing though that you were telling me before this that like really hit you about this.
Yeah, I'm gonna break it down a little more because this will be my gem of the week.
Ah, that's right.
But so there's a new Witcher novel out, which I'm enjoying, Crossroads of Ravens, which is like a Witcher prequel. This is like a young Geralt,
Oh,
really sort of sowing his oats, coming into his own. I've read all the books, so would I say this is like the most Witcher thing I've read, like from a comic perspective, right? Like I love Bartosz Stibber's run on Witcher, and I love Cy Spurrier's last arc that he did on The Witcher. And those have all been great Witcher stories for different reasons. But as I read this first issue, there was something about it that made it feel like this was pulled right from one of the novels. Like to
that's
me, this
interesting.
felt very like to me, this was like as true to The Witcher as Witcher can be, and it was. I think maybe it was the way it was paced. I can't remember the author's name. He's new to me, but he had such great command of Geralt in this world. So if you're a Witcher fan, when you read the Bloodstone issue 1, I think you're gonna walk away with that same feeling. Like, oh, this felt like this is the start of a because there's a whole like when it comes to the Witcher novels, there's a couple of books that are just a collection of short stories. And to me, this felt like this was like one of those like part one of one of those short stories. Just everything about it just felt like, man, bam, he's got it. He knows Geralt, he knows this world, he knows these characters. There was the interaction, between Geralt and the townsfolk. There was the pacing of it, and the way that this first issue ends. It was just, man, I loved every friggin' panel, and I'm going to break it down a little bit more at the end of the week. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky and Twitter. So you'll get my video breakdown of this. But Witcher, Bloodstone issue 1, so good.
Written by Daniel Friedman, with art by Pius Bach.
Pius
Moving
Bach, I'm familiar with their art. I've seen, and I feel like they've done very similar stuff in the past. But man, written perfectly.
Mhm. From Mad Cave, we got Dick Tracy issue 15, Flash Gordon Quarterly issue 6, Ferocious issue 3,
Oh,
which that ending really was freaking ferocious.
I meant to read this. Don't spill it. I haven't read it yet. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. Flow issue 5, Temporal issue 4, The New Space Age issue 2, Astro Quantum issue 1. From IDW, we got Casey Jones issue 4, TMNT Saturday Morning Adventures issue 33, Return to Sleepy Hollow issue 3, Monster High, Bermuda Triangle issue 1. That one got me there. Ignition, we got No Place issue 3. From Titan, we got Conan the Barbarian issue 28, Escape from Skull Island issue 1, Craniacs issue 3. From Dynamite, we got Spirit of the Shadows issue 1, which I did read.
You mean Oni?
What did I say?
You
Dynamite?
said Dynamite.
I jumped ahead. From Oni, we got Spirit of the Shadows, excuse me, issue 1. I did read this one, and I will say the ending, I was caught off guard by the ending. I was not like, just was reading along. I was like, oh shit, okay. I had to go back and like double check some stuff. So that was a good experience in that regard. From Dynamite, we unfortunately didn't get the review copies, but I did end up getting the previews late, Joe. So confirmed that these are out this week. Thundercats issue 23, Harley Quinn Elvira issue 4, The Terminator Metal issue 4, and Sonya Reborn issue 4.
All right, that brings us to Image and Skybound. We have Void Rivals issue 26, GI Joe issue 18. What I'll say, these are both Energon Universe titles. We really are now starting to get all of these things really starting to come together. We have Skin Breaker issue 5, Capes issue 3, Bug Wars, the Spider Witch special issue 1. Did you read this?
I didn't check this one out, no, because it was special.
Do it. Read it.
Nice.
You love Bug Wars. I would
Yeah.
highly recommend reading
I definitely plan to. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, excellent. Final Boss issue 3, Creep Show issue 5, Lost Fantasy issue 7, Young Blood issue 3, Kaya issue 33, the Zdeno Chara issue, Dust to Dust issue 7, Savage Dragon issue 278, The Author Immortal issue 4, which I've been enjoying. Again, this is another book that I feel will be best read all at once. We have Malevolent issue 1, Drawing Blood issue 10, Blood Squad 7 issue 12. Didn't screw that one up this week. And then 2 books from Image and Skybound that we'd like to discuss. You want to take us, Nicholas?
Yeah, absolutely. Feral issue 20, Tony Fleece, Trish Forster,
Jesus Christ,
Tone Rodriguez. Yes, exactly. What the fuck? What the tensions? We've been talking about that for a while now. It's been getting really, really intense and feral, and because Pet City just brings out the absolute best in every fucking buddy, and they're all just batshit crazy in this story, and so we keep bringing that up, but like this is like we thought we had already gotten to like the crazy point in Pet City. Then things take a turn, and then things get even crazier. And it's just and there are a lot of ways in which things get very, very uncomfortable. And there are like a lot of moments where I'm just like, I don't wait, I don't know. Like it just it was fun in that regard because just finding out like who's gonna be able to survive all these different things that are happening in this issue. there's one character who we've seen bits and pieces of, and I think we're going to spend some more time with, and that's Ghost, the character that we think can't hear. I think is deaf, and that's that's going to be the silent issue that's coming up. We get a couple moments for that character in this issue, and again, we've just been seeing. I think Ghost is a him. We've seen glimpses of him throughout the series. I really, really cannot wait to see more from this character, because even in the few moments in this issue showed a lot of promise without getting into the details of what the character does. But I really, really like that character. And for all the craziness that happens in this issue, the ending is really just like you get there and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, Tony. Like
Uh,
this is insane.
I'll tell you what my exact response was. Oh, fuck off. Because I got what I wanted
That was
a
great.
few pages prior, a few pages prior, and then you go fuck off. You got to be kidding me. And I wasn't expecting Force Ghosts, right? You know, this was a great issue, and I know Trish Forstner gauges how much we liked an issue by the amount of swears in our breakdown. So I think Trish will be pleasantly pleased with how much we like this issue. Yeah, I was like, oh god, you got to be fucking kidding me. Oh, just that's how I felt at the end of the issue.
Yep. 100%. Yeah. And even before that, I was more talking about there's another development like before that where it's just like,
Oh, I mean, there's a whole lot.
yeah.
This issue has so much packed into it.
Yeah.
And there's so much going on. And it's just like, man, just when you think the series like can't like ramp up anymore, it goes right to 11.
It really does. It's one of the best ongoing titles, and not just among creator owned, and it's one of the best ongoing titles. Period. Like I'm so glad that they've been able to go as long as possible with this after doing the limited series on Stray Dogs, which is obviously freaking outstanding. But like being able to be like, okay, we're gonna do this ongoing, and we're gonna keep going. Like it's awesome. They really have earned it every step of the way.
Yeah, no doubt, no diggity doubt. Okay, Nicholas, that takes us to the last book we want to discuss this week, and I mean, I love this fucking book, and that's Wrestle Heist issue 2, written and drawn by Kyle Starks. I am. You're not a wrestling guy. I am, and I'm not like a hardcore wrestling guy. You know, I'm current. You know, I know what's going on, but I don't live, eat, and breathe this stuff. But I do enjoy it. But what I love about Kyle's work on Wrestle Heist here is that he's a wrestling fan, because there's a lot of things you pick up where it's like, I get that reference. And the references aren't like obvious in your face, like, oh, okay. It's like Kyle knows his shit, and you can tell he loves wrestling. And you can tell that not just by the sort of the Easter eggs that you get, but just how he's writing the book, because he's writing it like a really good wrestling storyline. And this is a story about a wrestler who's been screwed over by the promoter, and that promoter is a real devious prick, right? He's just an evil sack of shit, which you can draw parallels, to modern day, who this character might be based off of. And in this issue in particular, you've got two characters, veterans. They were the top of their game at one point in their careers. They've been screwed over. Now, like Wrestle Heist, this is a heist book, right? So you've got these characters trying to get back at that promoter, and just whenever they think they're a step ahead, they are a step or two behind, right? And the pacing of this particular issue, the way that it ends, like you don't really see it until bang, there it is. And that happens a lot of times in wrestling, right? Where it's maybe someone that you didn't see coming, interferes in a match, they come out of nowhere. It's just everything about this is just pure joy. but it's really excellent storytelling. It does get really vicious at points, and Kyle's really good at that. And he's got a reference in here to the Texas tornado, Kerry Von Erich, which I absolutely loved. And so, if you're familiar with the Von Erich's tragic story of that wrestling family, holy smokes! If you ever watched Dark Side of the Ring, ever, and if you like documentaries, I would look for that the Von Erich episode of Dark Side of the Ring. It is it's depressing as shit. But there's a reference to that here. So like this is just a really, I mean, for the wrestling fan, you're gonna love it. And I've said this before, even if you're not a wrestling fan, it's just a really good book. It's a really good story.
Yeah.
With great motives, great pacing, great action, great swerves. It's just an excellent comic, period.
I'll tell you right now, it's just fucking unhinged. That's what it is. Like it's
Yeah.
I'm reading this and I'm just like, jeez, dude. With every single thing that's going on.
Yeah.
I really like you said, I'm not a wrestling guy, but what's so interesting is I know like I'm around enough wrestling guys and heard enough wrestling guys, like between you and Billy and Rossi, where it's just like and even JC too, like where it's just these guys love their stuff and like they know their shit. And it's like there's so much from a storytelling standpoint. As I'm reading this, that is very much coming through. And it just really feels like it's a whole nother fucking world that I just have zero clue about whatsoever.
Well,
But I love
wrestling's a
this.
soap opera. It's a
Yes.
soap opera for
Yep.
men, right? And this book captures that,
Yes, it really
right?
does.
It's
Yep.
and like what the thing I love about too is that because I know Kyle is in the weeds with this stuff, every panel I'm just looking for little Easter eggs in the background, right? There's a panel where there's mankind's mask, in sort of like a trophy room, so to speak. So it's just so good. And
Yep.
Kyle, you're fucking killing it, brother. Love it, love it, love it, love it.
The real question for you is this or Devil on My Shoulder your favorite Kyle Starks title that's going right now?
Oh man.
It's tough.
I mean, it's tough. Kyle is an excellent writer, right? Kyle is a creator who, at some point, is going to win a floppy. You
Yeah.
know, for best writer, right? He's awesome. Love Kyle. He's the best.
Yep. Way to not answer the question. But all right, that is going to do it for us this week. Again, reminder, if you're not subscribed to one of the audio channels, make sure you do so already so that way you get a Friarside Chat delivered right to your listening device whenever those drop, because we never know when those are going to happen. So you want to make sure that you're getting those as they come for you. We can tell you you're going to have a Benjamin Percy one that's going to be dropping for you fairly soon. We haven't settled on the date yet, but we have it in the can. Very excited to share that with you guys. But other than that, Joe, we have a solicit next week because Lord knows you and I freaking need those things. Reminded of that every time that we don't do them. But until next week, my friend.
Will you fucking subscribe to the podcast already? Jesus Christ. Do it now.